The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jennifer Schaus coming to you live from Washington, D.C. as we continue the final week of our U.S. federal government contracting webinar series. Today, we are rejoined by Eric Shiowitz of Expert FSO. Eric presented last week on best practices for FSOs, and today his topic is related, which is so you have a facility clearance. Now what? As we continue in the webinar series, there's a couple more that we will finish out this week with, and the links to those are listed below: unsolicited proposals and SBIRs. For anyone that's local in the area, we are doing a lunch and learn on Thursday in Tyson's Corner, and the topic is teaming, partnering, and subcontracting. So we'll be talking about strategies for those activities. Our agenda will be, as it has been in the past, I'll give you a short introduction about myself. I'll introduce Eric. We'll dig into his presentation. He'll make concluding remarks, and we will take your questions in the order that they are received. In the event that we run out of time, which should not be the case, you can certainly contact Eric directly for assistance with any of your questions or direct assistance with FSO responsibilities. So a quick blurb here. I've been in government contracting almost 20 years. Started my career with Dun & Bradstreet, writing credit reports on companies, and then moved into their government division where we were selling that data to contracting officers within civilian agencies, including GSA, and then also the intel agencies that were looking at money laundering and white-collar criminals. I'm a frequent speaker at some of the government contracting associations around town. And started my business about 10 years ago, where we support government contractors all over the world in both product and service companies, and we help them with anything from proposal writing, GSA schedules, 8A certification, marketing plans, and so forth. Additionally, we also host events at the Kennedy Center in downtown D.C. for government contractors, typically drawing anywhere from 200 to 250 attendees, including representation from federal government agencies, from the OSDBU office, so the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization, and we also bring in corporate sponsors. So enough about me. The real reason that we're here today is to learn a little bit more about Eric, his company, and the facility clearances process and what to do once you have one. So Eric, I will turn the microphone over to you, and thanks again for joining us today.
Sure, thanks for the introduction, Jennifer. Hi all, my name is Eric Shiowitz, and I am with a company called Expert FSO, and what we do is we assist companies and their security officers with any type of security support they need. Being a cleared facility, the facility security officer plays a big role in the company, and we help them to stay compliant with their requirements having that facility clearance. I've been in this industrial security specialist for over about 10 years. We worked with many agencies, DOD, NGA, FBI, DIA. We've really run the gamut. Most of our customers are supporting these agencies. We are members of many security groups such as NCMS, NDIA, NSI, which is the National Security Institute. These are groups that keep you updated on the latest and greatest things that are going on with government clearances, anything you need to know being a facility security officer to better enhance your security program for your company. I've attended 50 plus DSS audits. DSS is Defense Security Services. They come out and they audit if you're a cleared facility, they come out, whether it be on a 12-month or a 24-month schedule, to audit your facility and make sure that you are staying compliant with all of your regulations as being a clear facility. And like I said, we've solid experience supporting the DoD and the intel community as well. So basically, what we do, we assist companies with their facility clearance process and also maintaining it once approved. Unfortunately, we cannot give you a facility clearance. A lot of companies ask, hey, can you get me a facility clearance? It's not that easy. But it's a sponsorship situation where you have to be sponsored by either the government or another cleared facility to get that facility clearance. What we do is we manage all the security day-to-day tasks, which helps clear up the bandwidth of the officials of the company who really don't have the time, but they also can't justify the overhead cost of a full-time FSO. So they contract us to help them out. We work as a subcontractor, and we just manage the day-to-day tasks, or as much or as little as they need us to do. We do a lot of security volumes for proposals, companies who are bidding on government contracts, and maybe they're not a cleared facility, and they're not quite sure what to put in these pieces in order to win a contract that's classified. We can help them with the security volumes to let the government know that you will be prepared if you are granted a facility clearance. A lot of the day-to-day tasks, we manage JPass, fingerprinting, SWIFT accounts, security education, EFCL accounts, and I know it's a lot of acronyms, but I'm going to clear those up in the next page or two. These are government systems that you're required to be a part of when you have a facility clearance. And we also just make sure that your security program for your company is 100% compliant with DSS requirements at all times.
Great introduction. Now we'll jump to your presentation.
Sure, thanks. So basically, what is a facility clearance? A facility clearance is the government or a subcontractor or prime contractor of the government has acknowledged you as a company are providing a service or a product they are interested in, that they need, or resources they need to work on a classified project. If the government sees you as a company who can provide resources for one of their classified efforts, they will sponsor you for the facility clearance. If a prime contractor sees you as a facility who can provide them resources for their government contract, that prime contractor can sponsor your facility for a facility clearance. Those are the only two ways to become a cleared facility. You have to have a product or service that a cleared facility needs for their contract in order for them to issue what they call a sponsorship letter, a facility clearance sponsorship letter, and also a DD-254 security document. So like I said, yep, companies who are providing services, product, or resources needed by the government. The only way to get this is by sponsorship. Usually if you are a company who has another company that needs one of your resources, and it's only going to be one person that's needed on this project, that person can work as a consultant for the prime contractor or the government, because they won't clear a facility for less than 2 people that are needed for the project. So basically, they don't want to go through the whole process to clear a facility if only one person is going to be used on this project, if that makes sense. Once you have a facility clearance, you need to designate an FSO, Facility Security Officer. That person must be a W-2 employee of your company. Like I said, we at Expert FSO, we support that person. So we don't call ourselves the FSO of your company. We can't, but we support that person. We manage all the day-to-day activities, and basically somebody in the company does have to wear that hat as FSO. All the functions can be outsourced. We take care of all your security briefings, all your in-processing and out-processing of new hires, clearance investigations, periodic reinvestigations, anything security related for your cleared facility. We maintain access levels, meaning that we have to make sure that if this person's working on a secret contract, we are only giving him secret access, top secret the same. In a lot of situations, DSS will come out for an inspection and they'll say, hey, this guy's working on contract number this. It shows the classification level as secret. Why are you giving him top secret access? It's a common problem. We make sure all that stuff is clean in the systems. Personnel records, you have to keep personnel records for all cleared personnel. You need to have their briefings, their acknowledgement certificates stating that they've been trained. You need to have what they call an SF-312, an NDA on a file. So there's a number of documents that are supposed to be in a security folder, a personnel security folder, that is also looked at when DSS comes out to inspect. And then there's just general compliance, making sure that you have all the documentation you're supposed to have, that you're doing all the right things, and those are other things that we make sure you're staying. Systems, JPass. JPass is the Joint Personnel Adjudication System. That is where all people with clearances are housed. So you have a cage code, And when you log into JPass, you log in under your cage code, and it shows a list of all of your cleared personnel. That's where it's a system of record. That's the system where you do all your transactions for cleared personnel. So when there are, like I said, investigations, periodic reinvestigations, if you have to send what they call a VAR, a visit authorization request, that's done through JPass. So JPass is your system of record when it comes to clearances. EFCL is another system, and that's a database that DSS stores all of your company documents, including your company structure, flow charts, and corporate, what's what I'm looking for, the hierarchy, the corporate list, anyway, people, all the officers in the company, and any type of documents that you signed with the government when you got your facility clearance, anything that shows what your responsibilities are with the government. There's a document called the KMP list, the Key Management Personnel, the officers of the company, and anybody on your KMP list needs to be listed there. So everything gets housed in this one location. If you need to make a change to any of your corporate documents or security documents, you have to go in there and do what's called a change package. And what happens is you make that change to whatever document you need to. It gets sent to your DSS rep. He looks at it, approves it, and it's all set. SWIFT. SWIFT is the system that came out a couple of years ago, and they're trying to do away with hard copy fingerprints, and they're pretty much almost done with it. Now what they want to do, they want to you to upload the fingerprint file digitally to the OPM database or the FBI database, and that's another system. So what happens is you have to have somebody scan their fingers. There's software out there now that creates a digital file of their fingerprints, and then you upload via SWIFT to the FBI database. Instead of, I'd say over 2 years ago, we used to have somebody go to the police station, take their fingerprints, and we'd actually mail them into the DOD or the FBI, and then wait for them to acknowledge it. So this way is much faster. ISFD. ISFD is another database, a database that lists all of the cleared facilities. So if you're about to do business with a company and you need to make sure they're a cleared facility as well, you go into ISFD to verify that they are a cleared facility. You have to verify before you do business with them. Access level, top secret, SCI. Secret and top secret are both levels of clearance. As most people know, SCI is not a clearance, but it's an access. If you have top secret, you can have SCI access. And that's just basically some projects out there have SCI access because it's a very, very, very high risk environment. And you may have heard the word SCIF. And that a SCIF is an approved room or area where classified information is stored. And you can't bring cell phones into those rooms or anything. They're built to certain specs. So that's basically, that stands for sensitive compartmented information. So some projects do require that. Personnel, you have to maintain all your JPass records that we just discussed. These are all your people in JPass. This is where you maintain their clearances, and you start any investigations that need to be done, out process, in process. Foreign travel, there have to be foreign travel briefings. If you have a cleared person and they're leaving the country for vacation, they're going to Hawaii, visit family, we need to have them have a foreign travel briefing. We need to have them fill out all this information on their itinerary, where they're going, who they're staying with, how long they're going to be there for, and then when they come back, they fill out a debrief form. Who did you talk to? Where did you go? You know, did you have any suspicious contacts? This all has to go in the personnel folder. And then there are regular security briefings that have to happen when somebody comes on board. You give them initial security awareness training, and then every year you have to give them what they call a refresher training, an annual training on that. So we mentioned the DSS audits or inspections. They come out. They're actually referred to as Security Vulnerability Assessments now, SVA. If you are a non-possessing facility, meaning that you do not store classified information on site at your place of work, you're on an 18 to 24 month schedule. If you do store classified information, which is called safeguarding, if you safeguard information at your place of work, at your facility, you'll be inspected every 12 months. Obviously, there's a higher risk there. And inspections usually go for no more than a day. So basically when they come out to audit you, they're looking to make sure that you're complying with the NIST program, the National Industrial Security Program. That program is once you get a facility clearance, you are now entered into this program and you have to stay compliant with this. And there's a document called the NISPOM, the National Industrial Security Program Operating Manual. And that's your Bible. That's your facility clearance and security clearance Bible. You have to abide by that. Document, they're going to be looking for forms. When you first got your facility clearance, you signed a ton of documents. They want to know that you have all those documents readily accessible when they ask for them. They want to make sure that you're minimizing access. You're not giving people higher accesses than, like discussed before, giving higher accesses than they actually need to perform on their project. They want to go through your security briefings. They want to make sure that you have all the required information in those briefings. So when these people are briefed when they first start working, they have all the information and they've been briefed properly to access classified. Security education, it's ongoing, there's lots of it, and they encourage it and they want you to do as much as possible. So there's a whole website out there by DSS called the CDSE website, and it's got tons of different curriculums and all different types of personnel security, and they like to see as much of that as possible. There are some requirements if you're the FSO that you have to take. And then just plain old risk control. They just want to make sure that your environment is safe, that you're locking things, that you're not leaving things around, not leaving safes open. So they just want to make sure they're minimizing all risks. Some available resources that are actually, the FSO toolkit is one of my favorites. If you're a new FSO and you're kind of out there in the middle of nowhere and you really need to kind of understand what you're doing and get some templates in place and some tools in place. I mean, if you're a new FSO and you're a new cleared facility and somebody says, hey, you need a security awareness briefing to give all your new hires, you have no clue what needs to be in there. So there's a lot of great tools on this FSO toolkit, which is at the cdse.edu website. Expert FSO, we're here. We can, we'll help you with whatever you need to stay compliant with your program. And then there's all, of course, dss.mil, and that's Defense Security Services.
Great presentation. I'll let you make your final conclusions, and we'll start taking some of the questions that have come in.
Yeah, thanks, Jennifer. So basically, at the end of the day, you just don't want to lose that facility clearance. That is it. So staying compliant is very important. You lose your facility clearance, you don't have cleared work anymore. You lose a lot of business and resources. Staying compliant, just great record keeping is important. Keeping all your systems current is important. The regulations and the changes, that's important. One of the services we offer, it's actually just, it's not even something we offer, it's just part of, when we work with you, we attend conferences, we attend meetings, we attend seminars all the time to get the latest and greatest updates with DSS, the government clearances and requirements, so you're always staying abreast of any new things that come up. Always be prepared for an audit. That's kind of our motto. If you work with us, you'll always be prepared for an audit. It won't be a surprise or last minute scrambling. So that's about it.
Great presentation, very insightful. And I'll move over to the Q&A section, and I'm going to keep this slide up that has Eric's contact information. So should you need to reach out to him directly, you can certainly reach him by phone, email, or just by jumping on their website, which is a great website, and they've got a lot of frequently asked questions that may help answer some of the questions that you all have. One of the questions here says, you mentioned a lot of systems. Where do I go to get the ID and password for these systems, or are they automatically sent to me?
Great question. So when you first get a facility clearance, you'll meet with a Defense Security Services representative, and he or she will set you up, or he'll guide you as to how to get the access to these systems. There are applications that have to be filled out. For some systems, some training is required before they give you access, but the DMDC, which is Defense Manpower Data Center in California, they are responsible for giving you access to these accounts. You send them what's called a SAR form, a System Access Request form, with all the proper information, and they will verify that you are a cleared facility and you need to have access, and they will send you a username and password, and then you can log in. Good question.
Great. You mentioned audits. will we receive notification in advance of an audit, and if so, is it more than 30 days?
Yes, usually an audit is, I'd say, a month and a half to 2 months out. You'll get a notification with an RFI from DSS stating, hey, we're coming out to your location, we're going to be giving you an audit or a security vulnerability assessment, and there's going to be some paperwork you're going to have to fill out and send back to them before they come. So they're kind of ahead of the game when they get there. But they are usually pretty accommodating if you say, hey, I'm not available this date, or I'm traveling, or they'll send out other dates. So they're pretty accommodating when it comes to scheduling.
Great. What if the FSO loses his or her clearance? Could this jeopardize our company?
If the FSO loses their clearance, it won't jeopardize the company, but that person can no longer be the FSO because the FSO has to be cleared at the level of the facility clearance.
Great. And I think that might be it for questions. So if anybody has anything additional, you can type it in now, or you can certainly reach out to Eric directly. And it's eric@expertfso.com. Again, thanks everybody for joining us, and thanks Eric for the great insight on the process and what to do once you're a cleared facility. So I hope that you all will join us tomorrow for unsolicited proposals, Friday SBIRs, and Thursday in person over in Tyson's Corner, Virginia, for teaming, partnering, and subcontracting strategies. Eric, any last thoughts that you'd like to share?
No, just thank you everybody for attending, and feel free to always give me a call and ping me with any questions you have about anything to help.
Great. Thanks very much, everybody.